Hey guys, it's Megan. So growing up, my dad was always collecting movies, whether they were VHSs and then they turned into DVDs. He would have a huge library of movies from all different subjects. Loved the westerns, loved the horror movies, the comedies, the series of shows. If it was good, he generally had it. And he still does to this day. Well, I think part of that rubbed off on me because before I even moved out of the house, I probably had a half to three-quarters of a regular-sized bookcase full of VHS movies. And over the years, as things got harder, I've had to sell them. Well, now that DVDs have come out and I've switched my collection completely over, I find myself doing the same thing that my dad does, except for I look for better deals. Like I go online and eBay, Amazon, and I look up a movie that I want, or, a series of movies that I'm watching that I'd like to own all of them, and I order them. Sometimes I get them $3 or $4, sometimes I have to pay full price, but most of the time, if they're used, that's fine as long as they're not really scratched up, and as long as they play in my player, that's all I really care about. And then, I bought a whole bunch of them last year because I was going to start selling stuff on eBay, and I was thinking, if I buy a bunch of DVDs and I view them, maybe I could clean them up. I could get one of those machines to resurface them, and I could get another one of those machines to maybe do the plastic on them or whatever, and I could sell them. Say I bought them for $1, I could sell them for $3, I thought that was a good investment. I was wrong because I took a gamble on a couple of dealers, and I got some that I'd never even heard of, and I wound up having to sell those just because there were too many of them and they were taking up space, and I had nowhere to store them. I thought on the newer ones, the stuff that still had the original seal, that I could get a little bit more for them, but it wasn't a good idea to sell. And then I bought some electronics. I bought a couple of tablets, and one of them we wound up keeping. The other one I sold, but what the tablet was worth and what I sold it for, I probably could have done better with it. I thought, ordering it online, not everybody's going to think, oh, let's shop online, so I might get a good deal and make something off of it. I noticed that a lot of people like vintage video games and systems and such, and I had one that wasn't all, I think I was missing a cord or something to it, and I only had like one game with it. And I think I sent the game with the system. I put it up on eBay and somebody bought it, and to be honest with you, I don't even know where that Nintendo came from because it wasn't anything that I ever played. I found it in my closet. And it was in a box somewhere, and when I moved into this place, there wasn't like there were boxes here, so it was in some of my stuff, or could have been my ex-husband's, but I never saw him play it, so I don't think he had one. But, yeah, I sold that, and I find if I have some stuff, if I sell it locally, then I can sometimes make a little bit more off of it, and I don't have to pay shipping for it. Well, this year I've been trying to sell a ring on there, and I haven't had any luck, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's good quality. Everything's fine with it, so I'm guessing that nobody just is looking for something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's wedding season. You'd think it would sell. I just went back on Facebook and I was looking up the ads that I had placed earlier for my mother-in-law, and somebody made the comment, well, how do I know if I'm going to want it if I don't know what it looks like? Well, I politely told the person that the item is free, and that if you have any questions, to call the number that's attached to it. And they don't get that when I tell them how to do something, like it specifically says it in the ad, any questions, call. It doesn't matter, they don't listen. So I'm wondering how many of my ads are people actually reading. I found an old one earlier when I was trying to sell stuff before I got married, later last year, and I had to clean that up, and then when I looked at it, I was thinking, why was I trying to sell that? If it didn't sell back then, is it going to sell now? Anyways, I know it's kind of boring, so I'm going to let you guys go for now. Later.